Wisconsin's governor says protests around the country, including one here in Buffalo, haven't swayed his plan to eliminate collective bargaining rights for public employees. News 4's Tricia Cruz is following the latest developments on this story tonight. Tricia.
Melina, in many states, collective bargaining is not a right for government workers. Of course, that is not the case here in New York State. The reason unions are looking so closely to the outcome in Wisconsin.
Like nearly every other state across the country, we're broke, and it's about time somebody stood up and told the truth in the state and said, here's our problem, here's the solution.
On Sunday's Meet the Press, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker restated his case for imposing limits on collective bargaining. Despite massive protests in his state for the past month, Walker says it has to be done to help erase that state's budget troubles. Otherwise, he warns, there will be layoffs. The concern is shared among many governors across the country.
Unless you deal with the underlying structural expense problems, and we've been dealing with them in New Jersey, there's no amount of taxation that's ever going to keep up with the amount of spending increase.
Several governors have called on government workers to make higher contributions to their pension and health insurance. Those proposals in states with strong unions have been met with resistance. Hundreds of union members in Western New York rallied over the weekend to show their support for union workers in Wisconsin.
The factual study shows that when the working class is well organized into trade unions in a country, the living standard for everybody improves. And that's been the history of this country.
Some lawmakers have promised to support union workers.
You are going to stand with us to make sure that there are no cuts to health care. Are you going to stand with us to make sure there's no cuts to education?
Other lawmakers say all cuts have to be considered because of New York State's own deficit.
It would be really easy for me to stand up here and tell you everything you want to hear. Very easy to do that, but I'm not going to do that. I'll tell you some stuff you want to hear, some stuff that I can't simply agree with.
And one of those things is that New York State is facing a $10 billion deficit. In Wisconsin, if the current bill fails to pass by Tuesday, the governor says they will lose $165 million worth of savings. Live, Tricia Cruz, News 4.